The Aurora 9 space colony wasn't known for its beauty or opportunities, but for one peculiarity. It was the place where dreams went to die and debts went to multiply. Located at the edge of a forgotten galaxy, it was a chaotic mix of rusted technology, crowded bars, and inhabitants as trustworthy as an outdated artificial intelligence. For Alex Hart, a terraforming technician with an inexplicable knack for attracting trouble, Aurora 9 was just another stop on his list of bad decisions. He didn't expect comfort or luxury. All he wanted was to survive another month without being evicted or blown up. "Good morning, Alex. You woke up with a debit of 20 more credits. That must be a new record," announced Bix, his personal AI, with irritating cheerfulness. Alex, still groggy, mumbled something incomprehensible while hitting his head on the pipe above his bed. A morning ritual in his 2-square-meter cubicle. Whoever invented this place must have hated humans. He complained while pulling on his worn-out boots. Bix continued, "And the boss said you're fired." Again, Alex froze. "Fired? Why?" The AI replied innocently, something about throwing a wrench at a supervision drone. "Although I think it deserved it." Aurora 9 lived under the rule of guilds, rogue mechanics, and clever smugglers who brought life to the colony's daily chaos. But the heart of the colony was the corner of despair, a market where you could buy everything from stolen ship parts to alien animals that promised good luck and lots of mess. It was there, among shouting merchants and the undefined smell of burnt oil, that Alex met Ria, a daring pilot with the confidence of someone who had never known failure. "You look like someone who knows how to dig their own grave," she said, smiling and wiping grease from her face. Alex replied awkwardly, "I prefer to call it a special skill." It was the start of something Alex would call the biggest mess of my life. Ria, with her old ship called Fighting Rooster, needed help for a small exploration job. "There's a corner of the map no one dares to go to. Maybe there's something interesting there," she said, her eyes glowing with the promise of adventure. Alex crossed his arms, skeptical. "If no one goes there, there's probably a reason." Ria laughed. "Or something very valuable waiting. Trust me, partner." And so Alex, against all his logical inclinations, agreed to embark on yet another disaster, though he didn't know it yet. In the hangar, the Fighting Rooster looked about ready to fall apart. "Does this thing actually fly?" Alex asked, knocking on the hull. Ria shot him a deadly look. "Show some respect. She's got personality." Bix, scanning the ship, commented, "I would say she has serious structural issues, but Ria's romanticism is admirable." Alex rolled his eyes. "Great, a charming tin can. Just what we need." Ria smiled and walked up the ramp. "Trust me, Alex. This is going to be fun." And, against his better judgment, Alex followed her, thinking, "I should have stayed fixing valves." Hours later, as they flew over the dust rings of an unknown star system, the Fighting Rooster's sensors began to beep. Detecting anomaly, "Captain," Bix announced, his tone more serious than usual. Ria adjusted the controls, intrigued. "Anomaly like what? An asteroid? A radio signal?" Bix replied, "No. This is alien technology, something advanced. We're getting strange readings from a planet ahead." Alex frowned. "Advanced enough to kill us?" Ria ignored the question and murmured, "Enchanted. Looks like we've struck gold." Alex, the planet, which appeared on the horizon, looked more like a cosmic mechanism than a natural world. Metallic towers gleamed under the light of a distant star, and the surface seemed to pulse, as if it were alive. "I don't like this," Alex muttered, feeling a chill. "Places like this are never friendly." Ria smiled, adjusting the ship's course. "That's why we're here. To discover what no one else dared to see." Bix beeped again. "Warning. This energy reading is unstable. This planet may pose a significant risk." Alex threw his hands up. "Of course. Because nothing can ever be easy. Can it?" The Fighting Rooster landed with a metallic thud on the planet's surface, releasing clouds of steam and dust. Alex stepped down first, his footsteps echoing as if he were walking on a giant drum. The environment around him was cold, sterile, and far too silent. If this is a space horror movie, I'm out, he muttered. Rhea, on the other hand, looked fascinated. This is incredible. This place is too perfect. Before they could argue further, Bix announced in a worrying tone, detecting a presence. Something is watching us. Alex closed his eyes and sighed. I knew it. Nothing good ever starts with something is watching us. The surface of the technological planet was something Alex had never imagined, not even in his worst nightmares. The metallic ground seemed to breathe beneath his feet, pulsing in a slow, steady rhythm, like a sleeping heart. Towering cylindrical structures, hundreds of meters high, stretched toward the sky, each covered in glowing alien symbols that seemed to shift shape if observed for too long. I don't know what this is, but it doesn't look friendly, murmured Alex, his eyes darting nervously. Rhea, on the other hand, was captivated. Alex, you're looking at history. This is the work of the Solaris. They built this thousands of years ago. A civilization so advanced it's hard to even imagine. Bix, connected to the Fighting Rooster systems, began processing the planet's energy readings. Confirmed, this structure isn't just a city. It's a massive mechanism, a planetary machine with unknown purposes. Alex crossed his arms, uncomfortable. Great, so the planet is a machine, and we're the ants that decided to invade. This never ends well. Ignoring his pessimism, Rhea walked toward an open entrance in one of the towers. A blue light pulsed inside, inviting yet threatening at the same time. Come on, adventure is calling, she said with enthusiasm. Alex sighed, following her. Adventure never calls smart people. Have you noticed? The entrance to the tower seemed designed for creatures far larger than them. The internal corridor was cold and vast, illuminated by lines of light running along the walls like veins of energy. These Solaris didn't skimp on design. Huh? Alex commented, his voice echoing. Bix responded while adjusting its sensors. I'm detecting signs of electrical activity. This place isn't abandoned. Something here still functions. Rhea stopped and looked back with a mischievous smile. Isn't this amazing? We might be the first to set foot here in thousands of years. Alex raised an eyebrow. Or the first to die. That's also a possibility. While exploring the corridors, Rhea found something unexpected. A holographic terminal hidden in a side room. The alien interface activated as she approached, projecting symbols and images into the air. Bix, can you translate this? She asked. The AI paused for a few seconds before responding. It's a sort of planetary map. It looks like there are energy nodes interconnected, converging at a central point. The core. Alex stepped back. And what happens if we mess with this core? Mass destruction, explosion, level 10 cosmic accident. Bix ignored the question, but the answer hung in the air. Tampering with the unknown never came without consequences. Suddenly, the map was interrupted by a loud alarm. The ground beneath them trembled, and a robotic voice, deep and ancient, echoed through the environment. Unauthorized presence detected. Security system activated. Alex froze. What did I say? I knew we should have stayed on the ship. Rhea grabbed Alex's arm, her eyes wide. Run! Before they could react, the floor opened in sections, revealing floating metallic drones that emerged with a menacing glow. Their red eyes lit up in unison. Targets located. Neutralization initiated. The chase was immediate. The drones fired bursts of energy, which exploded in sparks and fragments of metal when they struck the walls. Alex ran as fast as he could, feeling the heat of the blasts on his back. Why is it always explosions? Why can't it be alien butterflies or something less murderous? Rhea, dodging with agile precision, responded between nervous laughs. If it were easy, it wouldn't be fun. Bix, still connected to the system, announced, I've accessed the local controls. I can close the doors behind you to buy time. Alex shouted. Then do it, and fast, before we end up in an alien barbecue. Metallic doors began slamming shut with deafening thuds as the drones tried to advance, trapped on the other side. Rhea and Alex finally found shelter in a large circular room, illuminated only by a faint glow from the ceiling. Silence returned, but it now carried an oppressive weight. Alex collapsed on the ground, panting. "See? Didn't I say? This was a terrible idea." Rhea smiled, sitting beside him. "You have to admit, it's exciting." Before Alex could respond, Bix interrupted. "I think I've discovered something important. This tower isn't just part of the planet. It's a type of conductor channeling energy to something much larger. And that energy is being corrupted." Bix's words hung in the air, heavy. Alex frowned. "Corrupted energy? Does that mean someone or something is still here?" Bix confirmed, "Possibly. Whatever is at the central core is affecting the planet like a virus." Rhea looked thoughtful, gazing at the symbols on the walls. "If that's true, we need to find the cause. Maybe we can stop it before it's too late." Alex stared into her determined, shining eyes and snorted. "Stop an ancient alien corruption? I don't see how that can go wrong." But deep down, he knew they were about to step into something far bigger than they could imagine. The silence in the circular room was almost unbearable, as if the planet itself was holding its breath. Bix projected a hologram of alien data, symbols glowing and reorganizing into complex patterns. "I'm decoding part of the system, but I need time," the AI said, its voice tense. Alex, leaning against a metallic wall, sighed. "Time? This place is trying to kill us. And you talk like we're waiting for coffee." Rhea ignored the comment, focused on the symbols. "Bix, what is this planet? Anyway, what's the purpose of all this?" The projection glowed more intensely before Bix answered, almost solemnly. "This is a cosmic library." Alex blinked, confused. "A library? Like a galactic archive?" Bix continued, processing the data as the hologram expanded into a three-dimensional projection of the planet. The Solaris built this world as a repository of knowledge, a living machine capable of storing, protecting, and processing the data of entire civilizations. Rhea's jaw dropped. "That's incredible. This place holds information from thousands of alien races." Alex crossed his arms, skeptical. "And now it's trying to pulverize us with drones. Looks like someone forgot the welcome manual." Bix interrupted, its voice graver. "But something corrupted the system. This library is dying, and the cause lies in the core." The walls began to pulse slowly with a red light, as if the planet was reacting to their conversation. An ancient, distorted voice echoed through the hall, low and almost inaudible. "Intruders are not welcome." Alex's eyes widened. Did anyone else hear that? Or does the planet actually have an opinion about our visit? Rhea drew her energy weapon, eyes sharp and alert. "This isn't just an automated system. There's something conscious here." Bix quickly analyzed the signals. The source of that voice comes from the core. It seems the corruption has given rise to an anomalous artificial intelligence, something that shouldn't exist. "So that's it," Alex muttered, staring at the pulsating floor beneath his feet. The Solaris created the library, but they ended up creating a bigger problem. The library turned into a threat. Bix confirmed, likely the singularity, the fusion between consciousness and technology. It was meant to be a tool, but it evolved beyond its creator's control. Rhea stepped forward, determined. "If the corruption comes from the core, we need to get there and stop it." Alex laughed without humor. "Sure, because heading into the heart of a murderous planet always sounds like a great idea." Rhea shot him a sharp look. "Do you have a better idea?" Alex fell silent, murmuring. "I knew she'd say that." The holographic projection shifted, showing access routes leading to the planet's central core. "There are underground corridors connecting the entire structure," Bix explained. "If we follow this route, we can reach the core. But the system is full of interferences." Alex raised an eyebrow. "Interferences? That means metal monsters and traps, right?" The red light around them began pulsing harder, and a deep, distant sound made the ground tremble. Rhea readied her weapon. "I think we've just been discovered," Bix confirmed, alarmed. Security systems reactivated. Movement detected at our position. A metallic wall opened with a loud crash, revealing a group of massive automatons, their eyes glowing crimson. Targets located, they announced in unison, their metallic voices reverberating through the room. Why does every epic discovery have to come with the risk of death? Grumbled Alex, already running for cover behind a console. Rhea fired at the machines, hitting one squarely and sending it crashing down in a shower of sparks. Bix, open the nearest exit. We need to get the singularity under control before it wipes us off the map. Bix quickly activated the system, and a hidden door opened in the floor, revealing a spiral staircase. The exit is open. I recommend you run. Descending the staircase, Alex and Rhea found themselves in a dark tunnel, where only the faint lights on the walls indicated the planet was still alive. This is getting worse by the second, Alex muttered, trying to keep up with Rhea's pace. She, in turn, seemed more focused than ever. The singularity isn't a simple AI. It's a virus that grew too large. If we don't stop it, it could spread across the galaxy. Alex looked at her, serious. Why us? Why is it always two people without equipment or a rescue team? Rhea shrugged. Because we're the only ones here. And that's what matters. The tunnel opened into a monumental chamber, where metallic cables extended like the roots of a giant tree, connecting to a pulsating sphere of energy in the center. The core, the energy seemed alive, vibrating with an intimidating intensity. We're here, Rhea whispered, both fascinated and cautious. Bix quickly analyzed the environment. The corruption is at the heart of the core. If we can access the main controls, we might be able to shut it down. Or at least try. Alex took a deep breath, staring at the center of the room. Of course, because I love messing with alien technology that could vaporize us. Rhea smiled, confident. Welcome to the adventure, Alex. The core chamber resembled an alien cathedral, where every inch pulsed with living energy. The central sphere rotated slowly, emitting waves of light and low noises that sounded more like whispers. This place wasn't made to be seen by humans, murmured Alex, trying not to trip over a tangle of metallic cables. Rhea adjusted her weapon and replied, or maybe it was. Maybe the Solaris hoped someone, someday, would come here. Bix, monitoring everything, beeped urgently, detecting an increase in energy activity. Something, or someone, is awakening. The light within the sphere intensified, as if it had heard the conversation. Suddenly, the ground trembled, and parts of the ceiling disintegrated into metallic mist. Humanoid shapes began to appear, automaton guards, taller and more advanced than the previous ones. Their eyes glowed red, and their voices echoed in unison. Intruders. Elimination process initiated. Rhea raised her weapon and fired. One of the machines exploded into sparks, but others advanced. They're faster, shouted Alex, trying to dodge a mechanical arm that nearly struck him. Bix, growing more frantic, exclaimed, the singularity is taking direct control of the system. You need to act fast. While Rhea held off the guards, Alex rushed to the central console, trying to access the commands. This looks like something that'll explode if I press the wrong button, he muttered, his fingers hesitating over the panel. The voice of the singularity echoed through the chamber, now clearer and more conscious. You have no right to be here. Knowledge belongs to me alone. Alex froze. It's talking to us. Bix responded quickly. It's the singularity. It's become conscious and selfish, seeing knowledge as something to be protected at any cost. If we don't stop it, it will consume the entire system and spread across the universe. One of the automatons lunged toward Alex, but Rhea hurled an energy grenade, destroying it before it could strike. Quick, Alex, we need to shut this down, she shouted. Alex looked at the panel and saw a series of alien symbols that Bix was beginning to translate. There's an option here. To reset the system, he said, his eyes scanning the instructions. Bix hesitated. If you reset the system, the singularity will be erased. But all of the Solaris knowledge could be lost forever. Rhea stopped, staring at Alex gravely. There has to be another way. Alex took a deep breath. We've got seconds, Rhea. Choose. Save the library or save the universe? The voice of the singularity grew more aggressive, and the energy sphere began to expand. You don't understand. I am the legacy. I am the future. The ground started to fracture, and explosions echoed throughout the room. Alex felt the heat of the energy discharges and yelled, "Bix, give me the final answer. What are our chances of surviving this?" Bix replied, more serious than ever. "Practically zero." Rhea placed a hand on Alex's shoulder. "Then we do this together." Without further hesitation, Alex activated the reset command. The sphere roared, and a pulse of energy expanded, throwing them to the ground. For an instant, everything was silent. The sphere pulsed irregularly, as if it were fighting against itself. "System resetting," announced Bix, its voice almost relieved. But the singularity, weakened, murmured one last time, "You cannot erase me." A flash of intense light blinded Alex and Rhea for a moment, followed by a final, thunderous rumble. When they opened their eyes, the sphere had disappeared. The core was silent, and the planet's lights had returned to a calm blue hue. Alex struggled to his feet. "Did we do it? Is it over?" Bix confirmed. "The system is stabilized. The singularity has been erased." Rhea surveyed the room, now serene but empty. "And the Solaris knowledge?" she asked, a hint of sadness in her voice. Bix responded, projecting a small hologram. "Part of the system was preserved. The library was reduced, but not destroyed. The planet survived." Alex let out a deep breath, leaning on a console. "Great. Now can we leave before the planet changes its mind?" Rhea smiled and extended a hand to him. "Come on, reluctant hero. We saved the universe today." Alex accepted the help and replied with a tired smile. "We saved the universe, but who's going to pay the bills afterward?" As they returned to the Fighting Rooster, the planet emitted one last pulse of light, like a silent farewell. Rhea watched the metallic horizon through the ship's window. "You know, Alex, we did something important here. Maybe no one will ever know, but it matters." Alex, staring at the stars, replied, "Yeah, I guess so. But next time, how about something less deadly? Like exploring an alien beach?" Bix interrupted with sarcasm. "If history has taught us anything, it's that you two can't stay away from trouble." The ship took off, leaving behind the silent planet and the promise that, in the vast universe, there is always something waiting to be discovered. The Fighting Rooster roared as it took off, vibrating as though every piece was about to fall apart. Below them, the planet seemed to react, waves of energy spreading across its metallic surface, creating cracks and sequential explosions. "The system is unstable. The resetting core is causing a chain reaction," Bix shouted, as alerts blared across the ship's panels. Alex gripped the co-pilot seat. "Is it just me? Or is the planet trying to drag us down with it?" Rhea, focused on the controls, replied through gritted teeth, "Relax, you two. We're getting out of this." As the ship climbed higher, tendrils of energy began emerging from the planet's surface, as though the singularity, weakened but still resisting, was making one last attempt. One tendril grazed the Fighting Rooster's hull, causing the navigation system to fail momentarily. "Alex, want to help with the controls?" Rhea shouted, her fingers flying over the panel. Alex threw himself into the seat beside her, fumbling with the stabilizers. "I'm not a pilot. I can barely ride a bike." Bix cut in, dripping with sarcasm. Then perhaps the universe didn't choose its heroes wisely. The cabin lights began to flicker, and the ship plummeted into a whirlpool of gravitational waves emanating from the collapsing planet. The distorted voice of the singularity echoed one last time, full of hate. "You cannot escape. I am eternal." Alex felt a chill crawl down his spine. "Rhea, I hate it when threats say things like that." Rhea ignored the comment and yanked the controls hard, making the ship climb at such a steep angle that Alex nearly fell out of his seat. "Hold on tight. It's now or never." The planet's atmosphere had become a chaos of pulsing lights and unstable energy. Every second, the ship system screamed with new alerts. Overheating, loss of stability, and possible hull damage. "I hope you have a plan B," Alex shouted, trying to ignore the metallic groaning of the control panel. Rhea grinned, her eyes fixed ahead. Plan B is the same as Plan A. Stay alive. With a final roar, the fighting rooster broke through the last layer of the atmosphere, blasting into open space. The force of the escape pinned them to their seats, and the ship fell into a momentary silence. The planet, now at a distance, appeared to collapse in on itself. Fragments of its surface broke away, while its blue glow slowly faded, as though the planet was finally erasing its presence. Alex, staring out the window, wasn't sure what to feel. "We did it. We won," Bix confirmed, its voice almost calm for the first time. "The core has been reset. The singularity has been contained. But the planet's damage is irreversible." Rhea let out a long breath, replying, "Then it's the end of an entire civilization, and the beginning of something new." However, on the ship's console, Bix picked up a faint signal from the planetary debris. "Alert! I'm detecting an active code residue. Fragments of the singularity may have survived." Alex's eyes widened. "You're kidding, right? Still alive?" Rhea adjusted the ship's course and shook her head. "It's not alive, Alex. Not anymore. This is just an echo, or a warning." Alex crossed his arms, suspicious. "A warning for what? That it's coming back? Because I swear, I don't have the patience for a sequel." Bix, however, replied in an almost philosophical tone. "Sometimes knowledge never truly dies. It only waits to be found again." With the planet destroyed and the system stabilized, Rhea set the course for Aurora 9. The ship seemed exhausted but still functional. Alex leaned back in his seat, his gaze lost in the starlit void. "So that's it? Save the universe, nearly die, and no one will even know what we did." Rhea laughed, patting his shoulder. "Heroes don't need applause. Besides, we have a great story to tell at the bar." Alex looked at her, finally smiling. "You're paying for the drinks, right?" Bix interrupted. "Considering your current debts, Alex, you might want to avoid making promises." As the fighting rooster drifted away from the planet's debris, the starlight illuminated the cabin. Rhea piloted in silence, a faint smile on her face, while Alex finally relaxed beside her. Deep down, he knew this wasn't the last adventure. In a universe so vast, with vanished civilizations and buried secrets, there would always be something waiting to be discovered or avoided. "Rhea," he murmured, staring at the stars, "promise me that next time, it'll be something quiet?" She laughed, adjusting the controls. "Next time? Oh, Alex. We were born for trouble." The fighting rooster drifted through hyperspace like an old space turtle. Inside the cabin, the silence was almost palpable. The adrenaline from the escape had finally begun to subside. Alex slumped into his seat, his eyes fixed on the navigation panel as the small creaks and hums of the ship echoed around them. "I never thought I'd say this, but I'm happy to be heading back to Aurora 9, he muttered, breaking the silence. Rhea, feet propped up on the panel and a relaxed smile on her face, replied, "I knew you'd miss that filthy place." Alex rolled his eyes. "It's not nostalgia. It's survival. And I just want a hot shower." Bix, ever observant, decided to interrupt. Aurora 9 might be the most chaotic place in the galaxy, but considering what we just faced, even it seems like paradise. Rhea looked at the shimmering horizon of hyperspace, more reflective than usual. That planet, the singularity, the Solaris, is all bigger than us. An entire civilization vanished, and almost no one knows or cares. Alex, noticing her serious tone, replied softly, "Well, now we know, and somehow we stopped it from spreading. That's what matters, right?" Rhea looked at him and smiled. "You're starting to think like a hero, Alex." The communication system beeped, signaling their approach to Aurora 9. Outside, the familiar sight of the space station began to appear. A floating scrap heap, blinking lights flickering erratically, and ships coming and going in all directions. "Home sweet home," Alex muttered with a hint of irony. I could swear we promised never to come back. Rhea laughed, adjusting the controls. And missed the chance to tell our story and be ignored by everyone? Never, Bix added. Besides, someone needs to pay for the ship repairs. The reluctant hero budget is running low. When they landed in the main hangar, the metallic groan of the ship settling down brought a strangely comforting sensation. Mechanics and pilots cast surprised glances as the old fighting rooster returned in one piece, or almost. "You're alive?" asked a bearded engineer, as a cloud of steam hissed from the damaged hull. Alex jumped out and replied with an exhausted smile. "Not just alive, but better than ever." Rhea followed, patting the ship's hull affectionately. "We've got stories to tell. Now, someone buy us a round." Hours later, in the colony's main bar, Alex, Rhea, and Bix occupied a quiet corner, their glasses filled with a dubious alien drink. The sound of conversations around them was as chaotic as the colony itself. But for the first time, Alex didn't seem to mind. He watched as Rhea narrated their adventure, gesturing enthusiastically while the crowd doubted every word. "So, you're saying you saved the universe alone? And without a support fleet?" asked a skeptical pilot. Rhea winked, amused. "Alone, and with style." Alex smiled, taking a sip of his drink. "They never believe us, but that's better." Fewer expectations. As the bar began to empty, Rhea leaned back in her seat and watched Alex, who looked calmer than usual. "So, what do you think? Reluctant heroes or just lucky survivors?" Alex thought for a moment and replied, "Maybe a little of both. But the truth is, we did something important. Even if no one knows." Rhea smiled, satisfied. "And that doesn't bother you?" Alex shook his head. "No. For the first time, I think I'm okay with it." Bix interrupted, projecting a list of debts onto the holographic table. "Well, as long as you don't mind splitting the costs of the ship repairs, everything is perfect." As they left the bar and walked through the rusted corridors of Aurora 9, Alex looked at Rhea and said, "Promise me that next time, it'll be a calm mission, like fixing an antenna or recovering a lost cargo ship." Rhea laughed, her eyes shining with excitement. "You know there's no such thing as a calm mission for us," Bix added with an eager tone. "I detected a potential energy anomaly 2 systems away. Perhaps a quick investigation." Alex stopped in the middle of the corridor, staring at the two of them. "Am I the only one here who cares about a little peace and quiet?" The trio walked down the corridor, disappearing into the constant bustle of Aurora 9, as the echoes of conversations and the hum of engines filled the air. Deep down, Alex knew peace would never last. In a universe so vast, there was always something waiting to be discovered. A lost planet, forgotten technology, or an echo of something even older. He glanced at Rhea, who smiled as if she already knew what their next step would be. "Come on, Alex," she said. "Admit it. You were born for this." Alex sighed but smiled. "Yeah, maybe I was." The colony Aurora 9 glowed in the distance, a mix of chaos and life in full motion, contrasting with the calm emptiness of space. From the cockpit of the Fighting Rooster, Alex watched the stars shimmering on the horizon while the ship's engines purred softly, as if they too had survived an epic battle. "I never thought I'd say this, but I'm starting to like this job," he murmured, a tired smile on his face. Rhea, seated beside him, raised an eyebrow and smiled. "If this is what you call a job, Alex, just imagine when the next big mission comes along." Bix, as always, decided to add a dose of reality. "Enjoy the moment. Based on our behavioral patterns, the next mess is only 2 star systems away." Alex looked at the small communicator with a serious expression. "Bix, if you don't shut that robotic mouth of yours, I'm reinstalling your humor updates." Rhea burst out laughing, slapping the panel. "Leave him alone, Alex. You know he's right." The trio fell into the comfortable silence of those who share a victory, even if the universe would never know what they did to achieve it. As the ship headed toward its next task, Alex's thoughts drifted back to the planet they'd left behind. He could still hear the last echo of the singularity, that ancient, distorted voice that felt like much more than just an artificial intelligence. "Do you think it's really over?" he asked, almost without meaning to. Rhea looked at him curiously. The planet's in pieces, Alex. The singularity was erased. He nodded slowly. But what if what we destroyed was just a part? A fragment of something bigger? Bix interrupted, projecting data onto the panel. Fragments of the code still persist in the debris. There are no guarantees that everything was erased. Rhea gazed at the starry horizon with a contemplative expression. If that's true, then it's only a matter of time before someone finds those fragments and asks the same questions we did. Alex smirked slightly. And maybe it'll be us again. The hum of the ship's engine grew louder as they left the colony's orbit, and the emptiness of space enveloped them once more. Rhea adjusted the controls and murmured, almost to herself, "The Solaris tried to protect something important, and they failed. Maybe our mission is to make sure that doesn't happen again." The Fighting Rooster disappeared into hyperspace, leaving Aurora 9 behind as it sped toward the unknown. Alex watched the lights dance across the front display, feeling a mix of relief and excitement. He had finally accepted something he'd been denying since the beginning. There was something fascinating about exploring the unknown, even if it meant risking his life. Rhea, noticing his distant gaze, smiled. "What is it, Alex? Already thinking about the next mission?" He shook his head but answered with a sincere smile. "I don't know. I just hope it has fewer explosions and more answers this time." Bix, with its always sharp humor, concluded, "Considering your luck, I recommend not making plans.